So we're just gonna hit the ground running and start there first. How about that? And then we're gonna talk about it for a little bit, and then we're gonna move on, because we're not gonna beat a dead horse.
So he's gonna make appetizers here.
Turn that off. You gotta turn it off while I'm talking.
That's gonna be the appetizers.
Yes. We're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna move on, because I wanna highlight a few other things. We do have an event this afternoon in here that we have to set up for, so apologize, that's why the time had to be adjusted. But I wanted to start with a reminder. We talked about this a few months back, because as we all know, change is never easy. We've learned that. You guys wanted change in the menu. You were excited about change in the menu, and then when we made changes to the menu, now we're all upset. So, that's what we're going to talk about, but we're going to do it kindly and respectfully, okay? But I just want to reiterate that we all know change is hard at first, gets a little messy in the middle, but at the end, it's going to come out gorgeous. Just hang with us. We're going to work through it together, okay? But we do have to make some changes, and that's what we're going to talk about, okay? So Lee is going to come up here and chat with us.
Jeannie?
Remember this slide from a little bit back? This is, we're excited and then not so much anymore, right? Say it ain't so. But as a reminder, you have all adapted to change before. I just went to a restaurant last night because I was so excited. I was craving shrimp tacos, and I was so excited. And guess what happened? They changed their menu, and it's not even offered anymore. Nor are there crab legs. So,
It's on our menu
but
now.
guess what? I still ordered something else because they had other options, right? So even out in the real world, outside of Aspen Gardens, things change, and I had to adapt. And that happened just literally last night at a local restaurant. So, it does happen, but we've all adapted, right? We've all adapted. We're going to adapt, okay? So, let's talk about it. Lee?
All right, thank you guys so much. How's everybody doing today?
Everybody good.
All right. I'm still alive, so that's a good sign. Good sign. All right.
Shrimp tacos here.
That's what I said. It's on our menu. You come to Aspen Gardens Club Marsh and have your shrimp
Save me
tacos.
a seat, Mary.
All right, so we wanted to walk through a couple things, key points to the change of the menu that we did and things that are to come as well. So the first point right here, it says Discovery Initiative across the nation, quality over quantity. So for those who think that I did this just out of spite to change the menu the way I did, it's not the case at all. DMG, as you can see, DMG, Discovery Management Group, as a national push forward for changing how their dining operations are to move forward, is to go quality over quantity. And since I've been here for almost 4 years, it has always been about the quantity. We've never really done any kind of drastic changes to the menu, other than cycling things out, cycling things in, changing the right side of the menu. But this is a push and an initiative through DMG for us to do this. We're one of the first communities to actually do it. So other communities have reached out to us, specifically a Chef Antoine based out of either Sarasota or out of Tampa Bay, I don't remember which one, asking how we're doing with the rollout of the new format of how culinary is going. So obviously we've got some pointers for them, some lessons learned, some do's and do nots. But this is not just our community. It's all the communities across the Aspen Gardens portfolio that are moving into this type of quality over quantity. The next item says waste reduction, overstock items underutilized. So when we start to simplify the menu, restructure it, and start to take away ingredients, it's for number one, for us to focus on the quality of the dishes that we are producing, and so we can keep a better inventory so we do not run out of stock. The more things you have to check and inventory, the more chances you do have of running out of things. So this is for us to focus on us keeping the mainstays in stock, focusing on the quality of the dishes that our chefs are preparing here at our community, and then finally finally the waste control. When we have so many things that we're preparing every day, and them being side options that are not something that we can physically track like we can our entrees. We can track how many salmon we sell. We can track how many pieces of chicken we sell. We can't track how many baked potatoes, how many bowls of cottage cheese, how many bowls of peaches, how many bowls of coleslaw, how many baked sweet potatoes, how many french fries are going out of the building or into service every day. It changes every day. Some people might like what's on the specials for the day. Some people might not like what's on the special today. So it's very difficult for us to track. So we end up with a lot of waste. We don't like waste. We want to make sure that we're not wasting as much as possible, because wasted food is just a disgrace, especially coming from a chef. It is a disgrace. And I don't know if anybody else's mothers and fathers said that they're starving children in China. So I grew up with the same thing, so it is driven into me as well to make sure that we're not being wasteful as much as possible. Next is the labor intense and slowing down production. So the more we're having to prepare, the more we're having to keep up with, the more we're having to fire. Those of you who have taken the kitchen tour and seen the size of our kitchen, again, you know, we are very proud of our team back there to be able to do what they do with what they have at hand. It is a very small kitchen, so it's not like we can make 150 baked potatoes for the day and keep them to the side and hopefully sell through them. We have to cook them in multiple batches because we can only hold so much at one time. So when we're having to scramble to cook more potatoes and get more cottage cheese put into bowls and making more baked sweet potatoes, it is taking away from the job's duty or the cook's duties at that time. And it does slow down production, and it slows down service, because they are having to step off the line to go get their next set of food ready to go as they continue through service. And sometimes it's 6:15 at night and we run out of baked sweet potatoes. And then we're expected to have those 45-minute cook time on a baked sweet potato ready before we close at 6:30. So this is all help that DMG and my corporate higher-ups have helped us to streamline it better, and put us in a position to where we're focusing on the quality over quantity. All right, so moving forward, all of us have had a chance to try the new always available menu. Anybody tried anything? Anybody like some of the dishes, not like some of the dishes? How about that, the salmon with the pea risotto? Yeah, we got a few favorites there. So the idea here is when we start to simplify and restructure the menus like this, to where we're focusing on the quality, not on quantity, we're gonna be able to position ourselves to where we can rotate this menu monthly. So if you don't like the salmon dish this month, wait until next month and let's see what we're gonna be doing with it next month. We're going to be changing those composed dishes up every single month, and we're committed to that. We've already discussed this internally, and this is a commitment that we're making to you guys as a community. So when we hit July 1st, thereabout, we'll have a brand new menu and new options. So if you didn't get an opportunity to try those composed entrees that are on the menu, please do before we do that changeover, so you can see what we're doing now versus what we were doing before and what we're going to be doing in the future. We're very excited to be able to feature some of the things that we can do that we've never really taken the time to do. And so we're really focusing in on that. So there's more to come. There's more to come throughout the rest of the year and into the future of what our culinary program is going to be able to offer for you guys. Now, who likes the French dip? Yeah, see that? So the French dip's not gone. It's on a rotation. So when we do a menu change, something has to go for something to come. We can't just continue to add. Anybody ever go and eat at Chili's? Anybody familiar with Chili's? Anybody familiar with the magazine that they give you as your menu? You've got 45 pages to flip through. They do 79 different ethnic types of food. How can they keep up with that? They can't. They can't focus on the quality as they can the quantity. So same thing for us. When we remove something, it's going to be replaced with something, not in addition to. Now, we know people like the French dip. We know we got a small group that like the Reubens. Those will come back in the cycle. So when we have the Baja shrimp tacos right now, has anybody tried those?
No.
Try the Baja shrimp tacos. They're fantastic. If you liked the mahi tacos before, the shrimp tacos are even better. They're fantastic. So give a try to those. We just rolled out this same menu in the assisted living. Last night, I was in there cooking for them like I do on Monday nights. I made the first shrimp dish, the shrimp taco, only order I got for halfway through the evening. It walked out through the floor, and I knew everybody saw it, because all of a sudden it was shrimp taco, shrimp taco, shrimp taco, shrimp taco right after that. They saw it, and so everybody started to order. So she'll be dining in assisted living tonight, getting her shrimp tacos. So that will be removed and replaced with the French dip, replaced with possibly a fried fish sandwich. You know, who would like to be able to eat a fried grouper sandwich? That's one of my favorite sandwiches on the planet. Right, yeah. So I want you guys to be encouraged by what we're doing. It's not all for naught, okay? It's not like Lee's being greedy, sitting in the back of the kitchen and he's doing all this stuff. No, it's not. I'm doing what I've been asked, and I'm glad to do it because we're getting to experiment and we're getting to be more creative now, which if you guys know the life of a chef, it's all about creativity. When the creativity dies, so does the chef. So just really want to point that out. More to come there. Next, the tavern menu. We want to be able to rotate that as well. So again, less will become more. We'll be able to rotate that more often. We'll be able to give you more varieties of pizzas. Have you guys tried the monthly flatbread? How do we think of that? That one turned out pretty good. We're getting a lot of compliments there. So we'll have our mainstay, which is our pepperoni and our cheese, and we'll do different flavor profiles for that flatbread, changing out the salads, changing out some of the items. We recognize that the nachos might not have been such a big hit. So maybe those won't return, or we'll tweak it and make it better the next time it does come around and do something a little bit more fun with it. But again, more to come there. We're excited to be able to roll these things out for you guys. Next, featured daily specials. So we've heard you guys' complaints. I've received the letters. My mailbox is stuffed almost every day with comments, concerns, complaints. My head on a platter, I've gotten that a lot.
Mine too.
Katie, my staff, we've all taken a pretty good beating here over the last month, but we're here standing in front of you today, shoulders back, head up high, saying just give us some patience. Let us work through this together as a community. We're not being taken a blind ear, a blind eye to what you guys are requesting. We're trying to figure out how to make your request work with what's been put on our agenda. So with that being said, we have decided that we are going to be able to plug and play from left side to the right side. So if you guys don't like the eggplant and the tomato, if you guys don't like the eggplant and tomato and you just want beets and peaches, you can have them, okay? But there are items that we will not be returning, and that's what's gonna move us forward. You will find some of those items on the right side of the menu though. We've been very conscientious about the requests for baked potatoes, for things like that. We are gonna do some more tweaking on the left side, so you will see the return of like the baked sweet potato, because we hear the diabetics in the house. We hear you. We hear just those who just enjoy a baked sweet potato. We hear you guys. But for that to happen, again, something is going to have to leave. So just be prepared for that, okay? We're taking a look at it to where we can slot it. We're doing a couple of extra special things to make it a little bit more conducive to your wants and your needs. So again, we are gonna let you guys crisscross on the menu to plug and play here, but we do ask, give the composed dishes a try. Just try them before you start, turning it into a Frankenstein dish, which is totally fine. That's fine, but there's thought that has been planning that has been put behind these dishes to where the flavors, they complement each other, and it's just, as we say, a composed dish. So please, give them a try before you start breaking it apart.
What's a composed dish?
A composed dish is where every ingredient in the dish complements each other. Where the salmon being paired with the peas and the risotto, it's a composed dish. When you take a single bite, it all tastes delicious individually, and when you take a bite of all of it together, it equally tastes just as delicious, but in a different form because you're combining all those flavors together. So it's being mindful of the flavor profiles and combining them to make one delicious, full-tasted bite. I see one of my judges here in the room. How is our composed bite from our round 2 of the chef competition?
It was amazing because the flavors blended together and just exploded on the tongue. It really did. It was a great
Speaking of, let's
experience.
just talk about that for a minute.
So, what do you guys think of the new apron? So this was the award for the first round because Aston Gardens of Pelican Marsh did take the first round. We went from 93 chefs. We went from 93 chefs that are in the portfolio down to 20 for round 2.
Wow.
So we just competed and finalized round 2. This is the dish that we had put up. We had to make 3 of them. This time we had to have judges, and it was all based on presentation. But any good chef, we don't want to make it look pretty, we want to make it taste pretty as well. So if you guys remember from the first round, we had marshmallow was one of our ingredients. We had 4 crazy ingredients. Okay, so the left field ingredient on this one was popcorn. Popcorn. What do you do with popcorn? Dates, breakfast cereal, soft cheese, and sesame. So most people are like, we'll make a granola bowl. We'll just make an easy breakfast bowl. Now what we did was we took the popcorn and we made a creamy corn jus. So we creamed down the popcorn and several ingredients to make a sauce with it. It went down as a base. We've got broccolini underneath that, just a nice sear on that, salt and pepper. Don't want to mess with the flavors there. To incorporate the breakfast cereal, I made cornflake crispy polenta cakes. That's a mouthful. All right, you guys are familiar with polenta. It's like grits. Baked it into a cake with the cornflakes. So there's my breakfast cereal. Above that, I've got crispy skin duck breast, boneless duck breast. That's topped with a sweet sticky date sauce. So there's my dates. And then we pan-seared the polenta cake itself in the rendered duck fat that had some sesame oil added to that. To put those flavors in there. And then just to finish it off, I made a sesame and Parmesan tuile, which is basically Parmesan cheese baked until it turns into a chip, and put sesame seed into that, and then did a light brushing of a little bit of sesame oil there just to seal the deal home. So popcorn, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, what was the comment that came from the popcorn sauce?
Could make soup out of it. So good. It
You
could
could
be
even
a
make
soup.
it into a soup.
Popcorn
You
soup.
discovered it.
So the request, after we let everybody taste the sauce, was you could turn this into a soup.
And then
A
you said,
popcorn soup,
but I
guys.
put a little of this and a little of that, and I didn't want it.
Yeah, I wasn't, it was a little bit of a mad scientist experiment, I'm adding stuff until it tastes right. But guys, it tasted like popcorn. It's crazy. All right, so let's go back a little bit. So yes, so like we talked about, we are gonna be able to flip-flop, we can pick and choose to make those dishes more conducive to you guys. And then finally, composed dishes. You can choose 2 sides with those, with the salmon, the chicken marsala, all those that are there in the composed entrees. But again, we ask, just give the composed dish a try before you start picking it apart. I think you guys will really enjoy what we're planning to do, what we've got rolling out for the rest of the year. Okay?
Okay, so that was the end of the slideshow
Okay.
for you.
So, there it is. All right. We'll take a couple questions. We do want to keep it a little bit short so we can move on. Hopefully, before we start taking questions, this has kind of helped calm everybody's worries and fears and complaints about what's going on. Hopefully, I was able to iterate what our plan and goal is here moving forward. Yes,
This is a
Mr.
little
Chuck.
tongue-in-cheek. Little tongue-in-cheek, so don't take it too seriously, but Ally mentioned dead horse. Is that gonna be offered?
It's been beaten so hard you don't want to eat it. It's tougher than nails.
Yeah.
Let me turn, we're gonna have to play ping pong here, so I'll turn mine off and then you turn yours on. Okay.
It's good to have a lot of information like this, and to have you interact with the residents. I would only encourage you to do that in the dining room and tavern. and, catch people as they're having their food and get up-to-date information.
So completely agree with you. You are not wrong in that. You are not wrong in that whatsoever. If you guys do remember, I did used to do this on a pretty regular basis, a while back. You know, to speak to my point, it's hard to walk out and let people yell at you all the time, and everybody's been pretty upset for the past, month or so. And it is my fault for not coming out and taking it like I should. But this is a good forum to where we can sit down and have a conversation where we're not in the middle of a dinner service. And I will make sure that myself is more available for those. And you guys know I'm always accessible. Just because you can't get to my office doesn't mean that it's a closed door policy for me. You can always walk up to the kitchen, ask for me. I'm here almost every single day. And I'd love to have those conversations with you, especially if you have any kind of individual concerns, compliments. We love compliments too. Those are always good. We've got another one.
But we are gonna work on a little more rotation. Lee's committed to that, to walk in the dining room and committed to that.
Just want to know, when are you going to get the result of number 2?
So Berta's asking about the Chef Showdown competition. So, everything had to be submitted in by today, the 24th. And then, at the end of every month, we have a culinary call. All of the chefs are on a call together, all through Zoom, and we will find out then. There will be 2 different calls. It's usually the last Thursday and it's usually like the second to last day and the last day of the month. So we'll know here, probably the beginning of next week before we get into July. And then we'll let you guys know if we've gone on to the final round, which will be in Texas.
Good.
Yeah.
Sure hope so.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
You,
You off, I'm on.
Ping pong.
I have 2 questions. The first is, when are you gonna return coleslaw? And the second is, where's this mailbox you mentioned?
So coleslaw has been moved to the right side of the menu, so it will now be a special item, so it'll be in a rotation. And then we are purchasing 2 mailboxes. We have not made the purchases yet. We're gonna get 2 new mailboxes. We're gonna put one at the host stand, which will be located there, and then we'll have one in the assisted living building as well. But coleslaw has been moved from always available to the right side of the menu, and it will be in those rotations for the monthly cycles.
I don't have a menu question, I have a kitchen tour question.
Sure.
Building 2's kitchen tour was scheduled, I think, the day you returned from vacation, and it was canceled. So I'm just asking, please reschedule a kitchen tour for building 2? Thank you.
We will certainly do that. We had some shorthandedness in the kitchen that day, and I had to prioritize the kitchen, and I apologize for canceling on such a short notice,
No,
but we will
that's-
definitely get you guys back into the
That's
rotation.
you had the best priority.
What we do every day, we have to be thankful for the chef we have. Every day. We have to be thankful for all our wonderful people we look after. We have to be thankful for our leader here, Allie. But I'll tell you what, if you haven't been to the kitchen and looked at it, do it. Because I'll tell you something, that's a place where miracles are performed, in that small space, miracles. And we thank you so much.
So, thank you very much, I appreciate that. You guys heard me say this, I can't do what I do without the team that I have behind me. It's my team, you know, I just steer the boat most of the time. It's the guys that are back there in the fire, in the oven, in the fryer, that are doing this on day in, day out. All the servers that are on the floor, Katie and her staff, our bartender and our bar team, it takes the entire department to pull off what we do. We might not, you know, be perfect. It is something that we strive on, but thank you, Ms. Nita, we do appreciate it, and again, it's all thanks to the team that's back there. Take that tour so you guys can go back there and meet some of those guys. They're a great group of people back there, and I couldn't be happier than having that team behind me.
All right, Lee, we got one more time for one more question here.
I
don't know if this is your area or not, but can you address the shortage of servers that we end up having to do a buffet?
We are actually working on this. We are about to instill a new program. I won't go into too much of detail because it doesn't necessarily involve independent living. But we are working on a plan to get more hands available specifically for dinner service because that's where our biggest shortage is. And how we run the operation right now is that we schedule exactly how many people that we need. And if somebody calls out or is sick or an emergency comes up, wherever the case may be, once we're down one person, it does put a huge wrench into the machine for us. But we are working on that, and hopefully we'll have that solution very soon for you guys.
Will we ever have appetizers introduced into our menu at an added cost?
Not currently. We are looking at a few new things to be coming out later on in the year. Right now, we're trying to focus on the initiative that Discovery Management Group has given us, which is restructuring the left side of the menu, changing the right side of the menu, and then we'll start looking at some special offerings that would be for an extra price. So it's definitely that's something that we've been talking about on multiple occasions. We're just waiting for the right time to start prioritizing.
Lee, is there any reason why we can't have the dinner menu served into the tavern area? They walk 20 feet more maybe to serve it in there. It releases tables in the dining room where you got people waiting out in the lobby to get seated. And we're already seated in the tavern. Why can't we order the menu to be served in the tavern?
So we have talked about this before at length, and nothing has changed as far as we treat the tavern as a separate entity, and even though they're connected to each other, it is to be treated as a separate entity. If you walk into any other Aston Gardens, anybody that has a bistro attached to their senior living, either their main building or their clubhouse, those entities are separated. It's just unfortunate that ours are completely connected to each other, but we do have to treat it as two separate areas. Now we do, when we're busy on brunches and things like that, we do utilize that area for extra seating for the brunch, but the bar is also not open, so we're not working through a second menu that's going on at the same time. And really, if we treated it the same, we would have to pull away the tavern menu, and it would just be that one menu that blankets across. But we can't do that because it has to be a tavern menu or a bistro menu offering, and there has to be a separate dining menu as well.
Okay, guys, we have to move on. I want to thank Lee, and he's got to get back and get ready for this marketing event we have coming up. But thank you, Lee, for your time and explanation. We are going to continue to work on it. It's a work in progress, right? And we have to try to accommodate our management group's requests, but also try to keep in line with compromise here with your request too. So we're trying to do the best we can. We're going to continue to tweak. There's going to be things on the menu that are going to change, just like my experience last night. But we have to adapt. We know that it won't always be the same. We'll continue to rotate. Okay? All right, so let's keep going here because we've got a few minutes left. I want to talk about some housekeeping and maintenance updates. Anybody notice a change of late? All right, so the speed limit signs have been installed. There's our wonderful Fred right there at his best. He needs to be in a magazine, don't you think? Yeah, Fred. And then we have, we did install a few speed bumps. We bought just a few to try it out to make sure they were going to be the right size and the right fit, and before we bought for the whole rest of the campus. So I think these are working out okay. So we're going to order more because we still need to go around to the other side. This started, we added on 6 around the 7 and 6 side of because it had nothing. And then now we're going to go around to the rest of the side because there's also some areas around 2, 3, and 4 in the back that need some as well. So hopefully it will slow down some of the cars so that speed didn't zoom through. But we have got those installed. So great job for that. And the tree trimming, I did a little bit different kind of tree trimming cut this year, so I think it's worked out a little better, 10 to 2. So they're finishing up that project. It is a big project. It's a big campus, but we've come a long way with the trees. And I wanted to just make you aware of that. There's some pictures of, we should have done before and then after, but we got the after. All right, so I wanted to talk briefly about the trash rooms in each of the IL buildings because, as I've mentioned before, as much as we hear complaints about it, who's doing it? Right? So we need your help because you're the ones putting the trash in the bins. And so we really need your help. We are creating our own monster here, and that is the truth, in the sense of with these to-go containers and then, you know, we're providing them, but then they're not being thrown away properly. People are just throwing the styrofoam in the bins. They're not inside of a trash bag. So what happens? It makes a mess. Stinks up the trash room, stinks up the bins. I don't have the manpower to wash trash cans every day. We do well to get the trash out every day and the recycling, and it's very difficult. So I really need your help with helping us by putting those disposables inside of a trash bag. Please, help us, help you. And the smell, and whatever else we don't want coming in. Okay? But you are doing it, not us. So you need to help us help you. Okay?
Allie, we've always been told that plastic bags cannot go into the recycle bin.
No, you won't be recycling disposable containers because they've had food in them, they have leftovers in them, they have food. You don't want to put the disposable.
You're talking about trash.
Yes, put it in the trash.
Recyclables still, every single time I put recyclables in my recycle thing, I see people who use plastic bags.
They do make plastic bags now. I have it myself. They make plastic bags now that you can put in recycle. They do make them, they sell them, I have them. They make trash bags specific for recycle bins that are separate than trash cans. But yes, so when you see a trash bag inside the recycle bin, well, at least in mine, it is a recycle type, but they do make those now. But for purposes of the disposables, don't just throw them in there. Put them in the trash bag and put it in the trash, please. Okay? Let's talk about the roof project. So we have a pre-construction meeting that's been scheduled for June 30th. We have a tentative start date for July 22nd. So more to come. We'll have a better idea after Monday's meeting that Jim and I will be a part of. But I just want to start preparing everyone now. Because this is going to be the new inconvenience now. We're going to have noise. We're going to have people can't get in and can't get out. You know, the parking lot issues. There's going to be inconveniences. So I'm putting it out there now so you can start absorbing what's coming. But we all want this. We all need it. It is needed. So we're going to have to get through it together. It's temporary. And then we won't have to worry about it, hopefully, for another 20 years. Okay? But please know it's coming. Start preparing yourself. It's getting closer.
What happens when there's a storm? They don't work?
Of course, they're not going to work out in the storm.
What are we gonna do with the hurricane?
They're going to take all precautions necessary. Roofers, Lynn, roofers work all summer long. They work through this. They know how to do what they're doing. That's the business. Yeah, they, you know, this isn't anything new for them. They've worked in Florida for many years and been through a lot of storms. Okay, so they know how to manage that, and we'll be here with them through that process. All right, wanted to quickly highlight a few things. We're getting short on time, but I did want to mention that we are starting something new in July. And we know there's been a lot of grief. There's been a lot of folks that have had, you know, in just my short time here, we've had a lot of residents that have passed, a lot of family loss. But there's other things that could be, you know, individually bothering you that maybe you would like to have someone to speak to. So we've set up a group supported by Val Hospice. They're going to come twice a month. And it can be about a various of things. You can come and just listen. You can come and talk. You can be here to support. everybody's got different things that are going on in their life and through their journey. So we just want to have a space that's welcoming and you feel safe to come and attend and speak to someone. Studies have shown having these group sessions really do help people increase their well-being and their growth through that process. You can learn how to, cope, learn new coping skills, gain some education behind why you feel the way you feel, and also have mutual support. So we want to give that an opportunity for anyone that may be interested. Those dates are set up for July 11th and July 25th at 11 a.m., so check your calendar for that. And don't be ashamed. Come, talk. It's okay. We're human. We all go through things in life, some expected, some not. And this is what a vow does. They have bereavement counselors that help walk you through that. Maybe you have a recent newly diagnosis that you're scared about, you're worried about. You can come speak to them, and they can give you some good educational insights maybe to help you cope through that new diagnosis. Okay, so check it out. If you have any questions, Jasmine's available.
May I make a comment?
Having a little trouble with that microphone now.
Folks, that's wonderful. Thank God for it. We've needed it a long time, and we have it coming now. But I want to say this to the new people who come here, our new residents, our new family members. There's something that meets every Tuesday morning in the library that's called Meet, Let's Chat. And if you feel lonely, if you feel like you don't know enough people, if you don't want to learn games, you don't like games, you just want to know people, that comes out on every Tuesday morning. And it's wonderful. You'll enjoy it, and they'll enjoy you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Just wanted to highlight a few things that are happening in July. Of course, the calendar will have more information on it. We are having a red, white, and brew party with Music Over Miami to celebrate the 4th of July. So that's coming up. We do have our Tech Time with Stephen coming up in this month, as well as Spirit Week. So each day there'll be something different to do, dress up, different colors. We're going to have some fun in July. So be looking for that. Our special cocktails and mocktails with Katie. We're doing a little 5-minute protein bites with Jerry for a healthy treat. We're having a big day on the 22nd. Summer tea party. We're having a wheelie wash and a walker tune-up. So we have someone that's going to come out. If you're having trouble with your walkers and your mobile devices, let them come take a look at it, see what they need to do, how they can help you with that. That's on the 22nd. And then we have karaoke with Johnny, part of our karaoke summer series happening. Our chef demo. We're having another closet clean out just in time for Christmas in July. How about that? While you're going through your closet, you can find your Christmas in July attire. All right, and then finishing up the month, we're having our birthday celebration. And this is for everybody. I love birthdays because I get to eat cake every month. So come on, join in on the fun and celebrate the birthdays. Okay? It's for everybody. Next up, we're just going to talk about some trips real quick. This is kind of small, probably you can't see a lot, but we continue to try to add and do different things. Main thing to note is please let Jasmine know if there's places you want to go, things you've heard about, you want to see, let's add it. We can add it. We're doing some new thrift stores this month. We're going to a museum. We've got the tea party, the tea room at the end of the month. So take a look, sign up, and let us know if there's anything new you'd like to add and see. I do want to talk about the tram. The rainy season is upon us. With rain comes lightning a lot of the times. I don't know if you guys saw on the news over the weekend, in the last 24 to 48 hours, there's been like 4 to 6 injured, and 1 even died from a lightning strike. Florida lightning is major, and it's very concerning, and I don't want anybody out there while we have a storm going through. So we will have to suspend tram services during heavy rain pours and lightning. And, you know, the rule of thumb is within a 6-mile radius for people that are out on the playing, ball and stuff out on the fields. If it's within 6 miles, they got to go get shelter. we're gonna treat the same rule. We need to make sure that we stay safe. The good news is with most of the rainstorms, they come and go pretty quickly, but we need to wait it out. So we're not gonna be running the tram and we're not gonna put anybody in danger. Okay, so I wanna make sure you're aware of that. And we do have a lightning meter that tells us, of course I get it all on my phone all the time, but we do have a lightning meter that tells us how far out the lightning is so that we can manage that and monitor that.
Is there a way to alert through our phones or a common system? If you're standing in a lobby waiting for a tram and the tram's not coming because, it's raining, but you don't know that there's lightning within 6 miles. Is there any way of notifying us through text or any alarm?
We're not gonna be able to do that every time there's a lightning storm. I'm not gonna have the manpower to manage that. The biggest thing is you're gonna be you can set up weather alerts on your phone. Mine tells me every time I've got lightning 11 miles out, I've got lightning 6 miles out. You can do that, we can help you, I can tell Jasmine the app that I use and we can help set that up on your phone. But we don't have those kind of capabilities to communicate that every single time there's a change. But we can help you set up an app on your phone to guide you on that too. So we do have a few new team members. You'll see some new faces in security. Make sure you say hello to them. We have a new cook and server for dining, as well as a new team member in our assisted living. I want to talk about hurricane preparedness. We didn't have a chance last month, and I want to get into it a little bit and make some reminders. And for those of you that were here last year during my initiation into Aston Gardens, boy, wasn't that fun. In your contract, I just want to make sure we all remember that we are not a healthcare facility. As an independent living setting, you are responsible and must be capable of providing for your own health and personal care needs during emergency times as well. This is for everyday living, but even in emergencies, you are expected and responsible to be able to manage yourself. Okay, so I want to reiterate that especially with upcoming hurricanes preparedness. We do not have a generator. Okay, so what that means is if we lose power, and when we lose power, we have no air conditioning, the elevators will not work, our emergency alert system will not work, you will not be able to press your pendant, we will not be able to know that you pressed your pendant, we will not have power. Okay? Emergency lighting in the hallways in each of the buildings, they only last for so long. They're battery operated, they don't last forever, so it will be dark. Dining options and activity options will be limited due to the emergency circumstances. Again, this is a temporary emergency, so things are going to change and be a lot different for all of us in that time. So this is the time now. Are you going to be able to manage on your own and understand the elevators aren't working? Can you get your dog up and down the stairs? Do you need to make arrangements now that when a hurricane is near, you have someone that can watch your dog while the hurricane passes? Or do you need to make arrangements because you know you can't get up and down the stairs? You need to go stay with family, with friends, at a hotel. What does that look like? Okay, so this is the opportunity to start planning now, because although we are on the hospital grid and hospital's priority, we all experienced it last year and the hurricanes weren't even that bad. We went those 10 days on and off, on and off. It was brutal for everybody. So if you were struggling, please consider this year what you're going to do differently to help you. Help yourself, help us, because we are always also limited on what we can do. This is just a quick little checklist I put together. You can find a lot of different checklists online, but I do encourage, because, I was shocked and how little some of you were prepared last year during the hurricanes. Some of you only had one flashlight that you could find, and then some, you didn't have backup batteries even. So when your flashlight died, you were in trouble. So we gotta get in front of it. Please, flashlights, lanterns, a weather radio, extra batteries. They make battery operated fans now. They make the kind that you can even put around your neck to give you a little extra air. They're cheap on Amazon, like $10, and then just get the stock of batteries. But look at those options. Extra battery packs for your cell phone, so when your cell phone starts to die, you have a way to charge. They make those backup batteries. You can use those. First aid kits. Water. The recommendation is 1 gallon per person per day for at least 3 to 7 days. Now, thankfully, we didn't have water issues last year, but that does happen depending on how strong the storm is, so you want to be prepared. Non-perishable foods. This was something that came up that, I myself wouldn't have even thought about. Make sure you have a non-electric can opener. I depend on my electric can opener, but that ain't gonna work when we don't have power. So we gotta go back to the old-fashioned kind, okay? Make sure you got one of those on standby. Paper products, pet supplies, pet sitter arrangements, vendor setups, making sure you're prepared ahead of time. You've got enough oxygen to get you through because they're probably not gonna be doing deliveries. Private duty, medication supply, gas in your vehicle, security, important information and documents and stuff. These are just some things that I wanted to bring to your attention to start thinking about and preparing for.
Cash.
Cash.
ATMs do not work when there's no power.
That's right. You're stuck. That's not a good place to be. So just make sure you're prepared. Can add cash to that, yes. Okay? All right, we're running out of time. I want to remind everybody of the next town hall. End of the month, next month, July 29th, 3 p.m., back to our normal, regularly scheduled program. Okay? And then last but not least, Allie's finale. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So let's build a new together. Give it a chance. We'll continue to compromise as we can. And we're going to continue to make improvements along the way. All right? Thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon.